Get the fuck off me! Get the fuck off me! I know you're wondering, how did I find myself in this situation? Well, here's my story. Andre tightened the strap of his ski goggles and adjusted the angle of his GoPro. The crisp mountain air bit at his face, but he was too excited to care. Tonight he was chasing viral glory, the snow-covered slopes of the remote ski resort where his canvas and TikTok his gallery. Skiing at night wasn't for the faint of heart, but Andre loved the thrill, and his followers loved the spectacle. Let's get this, he whispered to himself. Press and record. Slope was bathed in moonlight, the shadows of the towering pines stretching long across the snow. His lid-led ski poles glowed faintly, casting an eerie blue hue as he sped downhill. Andre narrated his run, shouting playful commentary for his audience. All right, guys, nice skiing challenge. Who's ready for some flips? His voice echoed into the stillness. The snow beneath his skills crunched rhythmically as he guided, occasionally punctured by the sharp crack of branches in the distance. Andre paused at a curve, the camera still rolling. He turned to capture the panoramic view of the moonlit valley, but as he panned the camera, something caught his eye, a faint movement behind the trees. At first, Andre dismissed it as an animal, maybe a deer, maybe just the wind, but when he adjusted his angle, the outline of something tall and possibly thin and hunched became clearer. His limbs were long, his head tilted as if it were watching him. Okay, that's creepy, he muttered, his breath fogging up his goggles. He forced a laugh, trying to play it off of the camera. Looks like we've got a fan out here. You see that? No, just me. The figure didn't move, but Andre gut tightened. He pushed off, letting the thrill of the speed distract him. As he gained momentum, the feeling of being watched grew heavier. He glanced back. The figure was no longer behind the trees. It was on the slope, moving, not skiing, just gliding, silently and effortlessly, as if it were part of the wind. Holy, Andre cursed, pushing himself harder. His legs burned as he curved aggressively through the snow, weaving between trees. He tried to focus on the path ahead, but panic made him reckless. Behind him, the thing was gaining. His grotesque limbs stretched unnaturally, and his movements were jerky, like a puppet on strings. Andre GoPro captured it all, his erratic breathing, the sound of his skis scraping across the snow, and the occasional flickers of the thing in the distance. He reached a narrow tree-lined passage, hoping to lose it. The shadows were thicker here. The moonlight, barely penetrating his lead post, flickered as if struggling to stay on. Andre's chest heaved with extortion, and his thoughts raced. Come on. Come on. A sudden weight slammed into him from behind, knocking him face first into the snow. His GoPro flew off, landing a few feet away. Still recording, Andrew screamed as claws raked across his back, tearing his jacket into his skin. He twisted, kicking and punching wildly. His fist connected with something hard and cold, and the creature hissed, a guttural, inhuman sound that chilled him to the core. In the faint glow of his pose, he got his first real look at it. The thing's face, or what passed for a face, with a twisted mass of flesh with deep-set holes where eyes should have been, in a jagged, gaping mouth. His skin was pale and stretched tight over his angular frame. Adrenaline surged through Andre. He grabbed a broken ski pole and swung it with all his might, jamming a sharp end into the creature's side. It screeched and recoiled, giving him just enough time to scramble to his feet. Bleeding and gasping for air, Andre grabbed his GoPro and bolted downhill. His vision blurred, the world spinning as he stunned and slid, his body aching from the attack. The sound of the creature wails echoed behind him, but it didn't seem to follow. When he finally reached the base of this slope, Andre collapsed, trembling. His jacket was shredded and his back stung with fresh wounds. He clutched his GoPro, its recording light still blinking. Hours later, in the safety of his car, Andre reviewed the footage. His hand shook as he watched a grotesque figure emerge from the trees, his haunting from chasing him through the darkened woods. The final moments of the video showed it lunging at him before the screen went chaotic with snow and motion. Andre uploaded a portion of the footage to TikTok. Its caption, "I survive. Don't ski at night." The video went viral overnight, millions of views and thousands of comments debating whether it was real or stage. Andre knew the truth. As he sat in his dimly lit apartment, bandaged and exhausted, he felt the same heavy sensation that he was being watched out of the corner of his eye. A shadow flickered. That night haunts him, and yes, it will haunt him for the rest of his day.